Tensions erupted on GB News as broadcasting heavyweight Martin Daubney went head-to-head with Labour MP Lola McAvoy, who appeared on the People's Channel to champion the introduction of digital IDs. But Daubney wasn't pulling any punches, demanding answers as he fired back. Are ordinary citizens now surrendering their liberties simply because the government has failed to get a grip on the migrant crisis? Her response, however, was riddled with falsehoods, deflections, and empty excuses, until Martin shut her down brutally, exposing the truth every time she attempted to mislead the public live on air. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.